Matt Murdock has officially retired from costumed crime fighting, but is New York City ready for a world without Daredevil? Well, let's hop into the pages of Daredevil issue number 6 and number 7 and find out for ourselves, shall we? Alrighty then, so as we join the comic, it has been a considerable amount of time after Spider-Man had his little heart with Daredevil about perhaps hanging up the red pajamas once and for all. On the surface, things seem about the same as it ever did, but in the underworld, things are starting to take a major turn. The Owl is getting much more brazen, collecting protection money in broad daylight from the very downtrodden store owners of Hell's Kitchen, but more on this in a minute. Things have also taken a major turn for Detective Cole North. It seems that I was right in saying Daredevil is basically his white whale and he's Captain Ahab. He hasn't managed to do anything for the NYPD ever since him and Hornhead had that little fight, and now it's starting to come back on him. He's really getting it from all sides too. Lazy cops are mad at him for going after the very superheroes who make their jobs that much easier, and dirty cops are mad that he took out Daredevil because now Wilson Fisk doesn't pay them money to look the other way anymore. Now where exactly is Matt during all of this? Well, he couldn't be happier. He feels like a massive weight has been lifted off his shoulders. He's free to walk the streets without a care in the world. He's free to pursue other interests, like getting laid by the pretty woman who owns the bookstore. Why is Matt so into this lady all of a sudden? Oh, because she wants nothing to do with him. She's playing so hard to get, and he's gonna get her. It's a good thing he kicked that painkiller habit too, because that can really hurt your lovemaking. Even the Kingpin is slowly but surely starting to feel the effect of no more Daredevil around. It's like he has no more worlds to conquer, and he fears going soft, growing content. And because of that, he decides to hold a major meeting with all the heads of all the different gangs from all over New York City. Hey, it's like the Warriors. Now, don't get it twisted, just because Matt Murdock isn't a superhero anymore doesn't mean he's still not trying to fight the good fight. It's just that fight has changed a little bit. He's not a lawyer anymore, he's a parole officer, which is actually a fitting career direction for him. And with his super senses allowing him to smell drugs and booze off people, as well as hearing that allows him to know exactly when a person is lying, he's basically the ultimate parole officer. Oh, but you know the old sayings though, nature abhors a vacuum and every action has an equal reaction. Well, that's basically what happens. A bunch of the dirty cops try and jump Cole North. And they very well might have killed him too were it not for the intervention of the Owl's men. Leland couldn't be more excited that Cole made Daredevil go away, and because of that he thought he owed him a favor here and now. Oh, but you can't really kill the devil though, can you? The devil lives in everybody, like this woman, Janet. When her friend's store gets shaken down by the Owl's men, she decides to put on a Daredevil Halloween costume and fight back against them, and as we'll soon discover, she's not the only person in New York who's doing this. It's a hot new trend like kale. You see, in issue 7, Wilson Fisk drops the bomb that he's done being a gang boss. He's dissolving his entire criminal operation and choosing instead to just be New York mayor full time. After all, it's more challenging to be a white-collar criminal than it is to be a blue-collar criminal. And the Kingpin will find himself a new challenge on a much bigger stage, even if it ends up killing him, and no doubt making him a whole boatload of new enemies while he's at it. And for once in his life, Matt Murdock might not actually have the Kingpin to blame for what ruins his life next. You see, he gets his second client only to discover that this recently paroled criminal just so happened to have a brother who recently got killed in a liquor store robbery trying to get some money for his sick mother, aka the guy that Matt accidentally killed. This rips open a wound that was already still fresh, and Matt begins to wonder to his local nun that perhaps this is God punishing him, that this is all some sick joke to tell him that he doesn't love him anymore. The nun thankfully kicks some sense into him and saying, hey, this whole doubt thing you have going on here, this whole brooding thing you love to do, doesn't make you special, Matt. Everyone goes through these crises of faith. God's love is also deep and endless. Do not forget your Sunday school and the story of Paul the Apostle. He persecuted and killed Christians, but at the end of the day, he was still forgiven. And then he was also struck blind by God, which, ooh, maybe pick your story a little better, sister. And while Matt may not be patrolling the streets anymore as Daredevil, it's clear that the memory of Daredevil is doing a lot of inspiring out there as a mugging is stopped by a guy in another Halloween mask. Also, hey, interesting thing you may have noticed about the fight scenes in these comics so far: co-ed crime, co-ed criminals, and co-ed fight scenes. You don't get that very often. Also, while Matt may try and put on a friendly face and say that he's fine and say that he's over it and say that he's done fighting crime, in secret though he spends his night looking out the window using his amazing hearing to call in crimes as they happen, proving fully full well as the comic ends that you can take the man out of the costume, but can you really take the costume out of the man? And so that was my catch-up for Daredevil's issue number 6 and number 7, and I gotta say, Chip Zdarsky is really taking this series into some interesting, uncharted waters. It's cool to see Matt reevaluate his life, make probably the most honest attempt at leaving the superhero life behind we've seen in a very long time in Marvel Comics, but also make it abundantly clear that he's still not over his addiction yet. I like too that this book is really focusing on the butterfly effect of a superhero hanging it up. What would that do to their friends, their villains, everyone in between? Their community even. The answer is it would completely change it around, but Chip Zdarsky seems to believe in the better angels of human nature, and that is that if a hero were to stop being a hero, other people would want to step up to the plate. It's well written, well drawn, richly compelling stuff, and I cannot wait to read more. I would give this another great 9 out of 10.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel, and I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out some of these other videos I have available from the channel. And hey, you know what, if you're in a supportive mood, you can also check out my Patreon link down in the description. Patrons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and you can do so for as little as $1 a month. So until next time everyone, this has been Cape Joel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back again next time with more comic content that smacks of greatness. Bye bye everyone.